Yay!
Hi.
Hi, everyone. Look who I found to come online with me and talk about my favorite topic of Reiki, one of my very own Reiki mastery students. Hi, Sarah. Welcome.
Hi. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
Good.
Been getting ready for this. Now, so today the topic is Reiki because I've been teaching Reiki now for over 20 years. And I've been a Reiki master teacher for over 20 years. And I just find that there are some misconceptions, questions. Some people really love it. Some people really don't know what the heck it is. And I'm hoping that during this time, we're going to, I'm going to help you get this figured out. And if Reiki is something that is right for you, I can certainly teach you how to perform Reiki on yourself. So let's welcome Butterfly Readings and Christine. Hi, ladies.
Hi,
Welcome. It's
Linda.
good to
Hi,
have you here.
Christine.
Oh, Linda's me.
Linda's
There's
you
another
and
Linda. That's me.
Linda's butterfly readings as well.
Oh, that's Linda. Okay. I
That's
wasn't
Linda.
sure. Yay. All right, you guys. So, okay. In case you don't know about me, I'm Linda Bertaut. I am the founder of Chakralicious. I'm a Reiki master teacher, an esthetician, and a chakra psychic. And I mentor those who are broken to heal from depression and anxiety. And many of my people become healers themselves. So, my joy in life is to seeing people heal from depression. In fact, today is the actual 55-year anniversary of my mother's suicide. And so I also do a tribute to her every year. And you can find that on my blog, which I will put the link is actually down below. So Reiki has a really personal effect for me because I had to use it to heal myself from depression. And I met Sarah, I think in 2019. She was ready to heal. So she took first of all, my Heal the Healer program. And then she ended up jumping right into the Reiki Mastery program herself. So she's had a chance to experience all the different aspects and levels of Reiki and doing it a little bit at a time. So, oh, thank you, Edward. Thank you. So it really, her death was the catalyst and the why for what I do now. And if you watch my stories throughout this week, which I'll be sharing every day, you're going to learn a little bit more about, who she was, what her loss meant to me, the realizations that I came to as a result of healing myself from all of that grief and pain. And then now, how it's really helped me to be the person that I am today. So you'll get a chance to see that evolution in my blog at chakra-psychic.com. Okay. So first of all, do you want to say anything, Sarah?
First, I want to say sorry about the notification. I last minute hopping on, so I forgot to mute my phone.
Oh,
So now it's muted.
okay.
So what I want to say about a lot of the people in the chat, the individuals in the chat, know the story of how we met because I've talked about you quite a bit. I found Linda at a time where I was struggling with severe depression. I was on medication. I had a panic attack in Costco. I was very overwhelmed with everything. And I'm an esthetician, so I met her in Las Vegas and signed up for her advanced energy healing courses, which are for estheticians. She teaches healing modalities for the treatment room. And when I took that class, well, first of all, at the booth, she had these beautiful pendulums set up, and I had tested out every single pendulum on her table, and I couldn't get anything to move. And I was like, what is wrong with me? I'm so broken. And
One of these.
she was like, you're not broken, you're just blocked. So we just hit it off very, very well at the show. So I signed up for her classes. It was a 3-day. And it turns out that I was taking classes with her students who were already in the Reiki Mastery program.
Mhm.
So that's kind of how I fast tracked it through, because I hit it off with that group. It
Mhm.
was her classes. They have such a great energy. They have a great feel. You just feel welcome, invited, and warm. So after that class, my next class was the actual Heal the Healer program. And that's where I did a lot of my healing.
Yeah.
It was one-on-one. That program was so transformative for me. It kind of, it opened me up. I felt safe here. I felt connected to everything. It's such a wonderful experience. And some of the questions we're going to get into later have to do with uh, Reiki, what's Reiki and what's Fakey. And one of the important things to get out of it is finding the right teacher, the
Mhm.
right guide. And we'll talk about that a little bit later. But
Mhm.
I had taken Reiki before, and I was afraid of it a little bit until I met Linda. But we'll get into that a little later. But it's kind of she reaffirmed my belief in Reiki and how much of a wonderful healing modality it is.
Mhm. Mhm. Thank you for that. And, you know, for people who have had trauma, who have stress, who are feeling lost, who are feeling what, anxiety or depression, I have to say that Reiki to me is the best way to heal yourself. And I developed my Heal the Healer program based on how I healed myself, you know, when I was having to heal myself from my own severe bouts of depression. And it really has become my favorite program because it's 8 weeks long and I can see somebody transform from broken to healed within an 8 week period. And then they're right on their track of then doing the things that they love to do. And although this was not meant to be a sales pitch, I just want to say that this really is my passion now. And it's because of all the things that I learned from my mother that I am doing these things. So it's important. And it's also important to know that nobody else can heal you but you. One of the things that I did when I was a 12-year-old, because my mom attempted to take her own life twice when I was 12. And you can imagine the feeling of being there and seeing something like that happening. It was really traumatizing. And I made it my job as a 12-year-old to save my mom. But no matter what I did, it didn't work. So I discovered that you have to have a will to heal yourself. And if you have that will and you take the actions and the steps to do so, you can heal yourself because everything we need is within us. And Reiki is one of those things that can help you wake up to all of those wonderful things that are within you. So, okay. So, do we have any questions from you guys? Do we have any questions from the audience? And we have a few that we've written down ourselves, but I'd like to know if you have any questions. And the other thing is that for the past 20 plus years, I'm an esthetician in the beauty industry, like Sarah said. And I've been speaking about healing and Reiki and also writing about it in the beauty industry, trade magazines, and the beauty industry trade shows for over 20 years. So this is about writing a Reiki article for one of those trade magazines.
Her articles are beautiful too.
Thank you. Okay.
So I
So
guess
you got a question?
I was going to say the first question that comes to my mind is well, Christine has a question. She says, I'm not sure how Reiki works, which kind of
Okay.
ties into what is Reiki? Because when
Yeah.
people hear about it, they're like, sometimes it's hard to understand what it actually is. When they
And
say
it can sound a bit woo
healing
woo.
energy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
it
can
can.
sound a bit woo woo, but really, in a simple couple sentences. Reiki is a hands-on healing modality that helps you to quiet the mind and calm the emotions so you feel peaceful within. So it is, now let's break down the word Reiki. R-E-I, Rei, refers to universal healing. K-I, the key, is our own personal healing energy that comes through our palm chakras. So everybody has healing energy already, and it's your key that's running through your palms. Now, in order to perform Reiki, you need to have an attunement, which elevates your healing abilities to the Rei frequency. Therefore, it's called Reiki. So once you get attuned by a certified Reiki master teacher like myself, then you can start performing Reiki on yourself. Now, some people think, well, I've got Reiki already. You have healing energy, you have ki, but without the attunement, you're not performing Reiki. And why does that make a difference? If your energy is depleted, if your ki is depleted because you keep taking care of everybody else except yourself, and you're basically burning the candle at both ends, and you're not doing something to rejuvenate your spirit, then you're going to have something that I call leaky aura. And with leaky aura, think about your energy body, your aura, like Swiss cheese with a bunch of holes in it. You can only give as good as you've got. So if you're in that leaky aura condition, then you're going to end up absorbing other people's energy that you don't want to do, other people's negativity. So it's not something that you can, you're not really performing Reiki unless you've had that attunement. With the Reiki attunement, every time you put your hands on yourself or somebody else, you're healing that leaky aura. You're filling up those energy gaps so that you have a vibrant, full spirit. And that's the difference between Reiki and no Reiki. Now, Butterfly Reading said, can Reiki be done long distance? Definitely. Reiki level 1 is hands-on healing. Reiki level 2, you learn how to send energy to a distance, because really with energy, there's no time and space. You just have to know the techniques to be able to send energy to a distance, and you can work on people. I've helped people to get rid of headaches, even migraines. It works on pain. It works on helping somebody just feel lifted, feel more at peace. So the same things you can do with somebody with a hands-on Reiki treatment, you can also do with a distance treatment, and it's faster. And you can go, you can be sending energy to the other side of the planet if you want to, or it could be next door or just in the next room. So I love Reiki too.
Edward Kenneth has a couple of interesting questions.
Okay.
It says, I've run across a Reiki master who states Reiki has a dark side. Is that true?
I think it's more the person that's performing Reiki. So I don't know what they mean by a dark side. I don't see how Reiki is pure energy. So I don't know how there's a dark side to pure energy. If you're using it on yourself, you're really going to help yourself to be more connected to spirit. Because what Reiki really does is it balances your chakras so that you're able to utilize all of the internal navigation system that we have, your feelings, your intuition, your vision, being able to see the big picture and how you fit into it. So I don't understand that. I have to know what he means by that, but I'm going to say no. I don't see a dark side of Reiki.
I had an experience, which you know about, with a Reiki master who I was going to learn from, but I felt very negative after I left. I had negative energies with me after I left. But after working with you and learning from you, I feel like, I don't think it was theirs. I think their roommate was doing something weird. I don't know. But I attached, I had Leaky Aura, so I grabbed onto whatever was there. And I also truly believe that if your Reiki healer, whoever you're getting Reiki from, if they're not practicing on themselves, Linda always says you have to do it on yourself. You have to practice. You have to make sure you're balanced, your aura is full. So if they're not practicing Reiki on themselves and they're unbalanced when they're working on you, you might get some weird energetic situations from that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And this is something I have found because I've been teaching Reiki now since after 9/11. And when I tell people I'm a Reiki master teacher, I'll have a lot of people say, "Oh, I am too. I am too." Or they'll say, "Oh, yeah, I'm doing something better than that now." Like, it's kind of insulting, right? What do you mean? What's better than being healed and balanced energetically? I don't know how you can get better than universal healing energy. So it's a lot of people, I think, have a misunderstanding about what Reiki is. And that's why we want to help to clear up some things here. Okay, so Sutop has one.
Oh, okay.
I have only recently discovered Reiki through YouTube shorts. It calms me so much. Is Reiki hands of light? Well, I suppose you could call Reiki hands of light, but that might be another term for something else that somebody's doing. But Reiki simply it means universal healing energy. And it does bring more light through your hands. But like I said, we all have palm chakras and we're already running our own natural healing energy key. And then Reiki elevates your own healing ability to include the universal ray. And every time you put your hands on yourself or somebody else, that's how you balance your energy, balance your chakras, and become full and vibrant again. Now, there is another modality called healing touch. And here's the thing that I discovered because I've been teaching Reiki for so long and speaking about it in large groups of people. There's some people who kind of think, oh, it's a little weird, what's this attunement? They don't understand it. So in the medical industry, which is more the Western, way of thinking, they have come up with something called healing touch. And healing touch is used a lot of times in hospitals. But what it's missing is the attunement. So you're dealing with people, most of them, who likely have leaky aura. And it gets pretty touchy when you're working with people who are ill and maybe terminally ill, and you're doing treatments on them. You're also making yourself susceptible to absorbing that energy. And it's really important that you be able to heal yourself and protect yourself. Because doing something like Reiki and having your full energy body with your chakras balanced is going to be your protection from something like that.
Donna Marie says it's the best stress relief and calming, and it absolutely is.
It really is. Yeah, it really is. Oh, so, people were talking about being a Reiki master teacher or I've taken Reiki. And then the next question I asked them, I say, do you use it regularly on yourself? And 9 times out of 10, they go, no. They took the course, they hung up the certificate, and then they haven't done anything with it since.
Yeah. So many of my Reiki sisters have come back to take your classes or come back to the trade shows that we've worked and give us hugs and stuff. And you're like, are you practicing? Yeah. And they're like, no, I haven't been. And then then they're asking for treatments. And we tell them, we'll give you a treatment, but you should be performing it on yourself every day.
Right.
You're attuned. You can do Reiki. You should be performing it every day.
Yes,
Make yourself exactly. Just shine your light.
Right. Exactly.
So on the topic of attunements.
Yes.
Because I've had individuals, what the heck are attunements? Why do you need attunements? And why does attunements, how come you can't do it without? So maybe you can shed some light on the importance of attunements.
Well, you have a question on here about Reiki lineage.
Yes.
So the Reiki lineage goes back to the early 1900s with Dr. Mikao Usui. And he was the one who was a teacher, a Japanese teacher. And he had this sense about him, this feeling that there was more. And he knew that people at some point knew how to heal with the hands. So he went on a quest to discover or rediscover that ability. And it took him, I would say, most of his life. And once he discovered the keys to healing with the hands, then he came back into Kyoto, Japan, and started practicing and teaching others. And he learned some very good lessons. But he's the one who termed it Reiki. So Reiki, like I said, is universal healing energy. It's not Japanese. The person who rediscovered this ability was Japanese. So that's one, misnomer that we have. Now, he's the originator of Reiki. And when you see Usui, where is it? Usui Shiki Ryoho. That's part of the original lineage with Reiki. And then there's different people like Dr. Hayashi, who also took over from Dr. Usui. And he's the next one in the lineage. And then also Madame Takata, who was Hawaiian, was Japanese, but living in Hawaii. And she's the one who brought it to the Western world. So there is a lineage of people that brought Reiki directly from Japan to us here in the United States. And it's important that you have some knowledge about where it came from, because each person that's been attuned as a Reiki master teacher has to be attuned by one of these people in, this lineage somehow. So I have seen people on like YouTube, and they're doing all this stuff. I'm doing Reiki. I'm doing Reiki. Or they're selling a Reiki course online and they're telling you, here's all the instructions on how to attune yourself. You cannot attune yourself. You have to have a legitimate Reiki master teacher to do the attunement, because they had to learn from their teacher. So that lineage really makes a difference. It's important for you.
On that topic of people online doing Reiki, talk about a little bit about the importance of when you're doing, especially distance Reiki, when you're doing distance Reiki, making sure you're connecting with the energy of that individual, and how because you can send Reiki out presumably, but it's not going to connect to necessarily the individual that you're trying to heal. So you have to be able to connect with that individual.
Well, there's a way to do that you learn in the Reiki 2 class. One of the things that's different from the Japanese teachings to more of the Americanized teachings is that in Japan, it's much more sacred. You're not just going out and sharing everything about how to do the attunements, about the symbols, all of that. You're learning these things from your teacher, and then you're keeping it to yourself and using it in the way that's going to benefit you, healing yourself, and then working with your family, friends, clients, whatever. And I find there's a lot of kind of this commercialization that's happened here in the United States, and just kind of strips away all of that special kind of sacredness.
Yes, I was watching an episode of Grey's Anatomy, and one of the family members of a patient came in and brought crystals and was talking about like doing Reiki on them and stuff, and I was a little offended when I saw that, because I looked to my husband and I said, they're kind of making a joke out of it. And that, it is, yeah. It's sacred. It's not something that should just, it's a wonderful healing modality that should be taken seriously and given the respect that it deserves, in my opinion, because it's just such a wonderful healing tool if you take it seriously and allow it.
Yeah. But then again, it goes back to, are you somebody who's ready and willing to heal? Do you know that there's something else that you haven't tried? For me, I was suffering from severe bouts of depression. I tried talk therapy. I tried group therapy. I tried workshops, seminars, you name it. I had tried everything. And then when my Reiki master teacher showed up, in fact, I had taken so many courses. And I went to the East West bookstore in Palo Alto, California. And this was like in the early 90s. And there she was. And I said to myself before I went, I'm not signing up for any more classes because I had spent so much money on classes. And within 10 minutes of watching her, I said, whatever she's taking or whatever she's offering, I'm taking it.
Kind of how I felt about you.
And that's how I found my Reiki master teacher. It was just so magical. And I learned so much from her, and then I added my own flavor to things. I added my own, a lot of channeling happened. I started channeling a lot of good information. It's wisdom, So Reiki opened up my ability to communicate with spirit, my spirit council, as I call it, to start channeling and downloading information. And when you start to get downloads of information from source, it's always uplifting. You are never going to get anything that is judgmental. And if you do, that's usually your own mind's programming. If you feel judged by something, like if you're journaling and you get something a little bit judgy, like, oh, where'd that come from? It's probably your mind and your programming that kind of kicks something in there to, I don't know, to get you back in shape or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So it's amazing what happens. There's so many other benefits, but you have to be willing, you have to be ready. And some people will never, ever be open to it.
I kind of a question that popped in when you were talking was how a question that I have been asked, if the person receiving the treatment, if they don't believe in it, is it still going to work? Or do they have to believe in the power of Reiki?
That's a great question. They need to be open. Now, we're talking, and usually now I don't put my hands on somebody that's not open to healing, because me, I've spoken in many groups, spoken to many audiences, and one of the things I always make sure is that that person is willing to heal and that they're open to it. So if you're working on somebody that's not open to it, you might do a complete Reiki treatment, healing on them, and then they are balanced energetically, but they get up and say, oh, I don't feel any different. It didn't work.
It probably did work to some extent. They're just not, they're not open to receiving the energetic healing inside.
Right.
So have you ever had a situation where you were doing like a distance treatment and you were told that you couldn't connect with that individual?
Once. I got a no. It was like, no.
I've gotten that when I've been doing like mediumship readings, like, get out of here. What are you doing?
Yeah.
But not with Reiki.
Well, I always ask permission. And see, that's the other thing. So let's talk about the first two levels of Reiki.
Okay.
So you guys can get some understanding about this. So level 1 is hands-on. And in order to do a hands-on treatment on somebody, put your hands on them, you have to get their permission. So they're telling you, yes, you have permission to put your hands on me. Now, if you have somebody that's not a believer and they are not open for you putting their hands on them, but you know that they need some help, in the Reiki level 2, you're talking to their essence, to their spirit, and you're asking that, for permission, asking the spirit for permission. And many times the spirit is open, where the person just kind of doesn't see the benefit, so they say no, but the spirit is willing and say yes. So that's why a level 2, Reiki level 2, distance treatment can be so beneficial. And in fact, in my Reiki 2 class, one of the homework assignments I give is, because I give them 3 little dolls to do Reiki treatments on. Most people don't learn the method that I teach.
I have mine right here.
Yeah, I do too. I got mine right here. So you learn how to do 3 treatments at once. And I tell people, okay, so you're going to do Reiki treatments every day. 1 doll is going to be you. 1 doll is somebody that knows you're doing Reiki on them. And the 3rd doll is somebody that doesn't know you're doing Reiki on them. But you have at least enough contact with them so you can see if they're getting better, right? So that's always a fun assignment to give people and to get the results on that.
It's interesting when you're holding the dolls in your hand. During one of the classes, there's an instance where 1 doll was vibrating a lot more than the other ones were. So you can actually feel the vibration of an individual doll versus the other 2. That was quite interesting.
Right. Because
so
when you do Reiki on somebody, I just want to bring this up because you mentioned that vibration. When you're doing Reiki on somebody, you actually feel your hands heating up. Or if you're receiving the treatment, you're feeling heat from that person's hands. And the more heat and maybe a little vibration that you feel between your hands and the person, the more you need that healing in that area.
Yes.
That's so cool. It's so cool. Okay, you were going to say something else.
On the topic of the Reiki classes and Reiki training, there's a lot of, I'll just read the actual question. Why do some Reiki trainings take years while others are offered in a weekend? And which ones, I mean, is there a difference? And if so, why do you prefer to do it a certain way?
Well, when I first did my Reiki training with Barbara, it was a 1-day, maybe a 2-day training. And it was great. It felt really good. But then, I kind of forgot. I did it for a while and then I stopped and I forgot. And I realized that people need more than just a day, that they need more, reinforcement. And with the learning how to become a Reiki master, there's so much more than just getting the attunements and getting the instructions. Okay, go out now and start doing healing. It's like, huh? What? Okay. What do I do? I mean, luckily, when I got my training, my teacher, she was fabulous. However, she did not have any good support materials. I mean, I could buy somebody else's book and teach from that. But, she gave me a handout that was like copies upon copy and like mimeograph copies, not good copies. So everything was all, kind of black and grayed out. So luckily, I'm pretty resourceful and I started putting together all my own information and came up with workbooks, and Sarah can show you because I sold out of mine, and a whole system to be able to do this. Yeah. And because people are usually not going to go figure everything out themselves, I found it's better to get your Reiki attunements and your training over a period of time. So give yourself at least 2 weeks or longer to experience Reiki 1, because that hands-on energy is different than doing the distance treatments with Reiki 2. And then after Reiki 2, I recommend at least 6 months to a year before going to Reiki Master level, which is the 3rd level. And speaking of that, some people say, oh, but there's 2 levels to Reiki Master. Well, I don't go by that, because some people give you your Reiki attunement, but then don't teach you how to use the attunement. It's like, why would you do that? I give the Reiki level, Reiki Mastery attunement, and then I teach people how to become a Reiki Master. So for me, I'm really working with people that are healers and helping them to gain that confidence to understand what their gifts are and how they're going to teach Reiki, and also incorporate their own healing gifts with that. So to me, it's better to take a longer time to do that.
Yes. I can say for me personally, if I was to do it in one weekend, I would be overwhelmed.
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh my gosh, what did I just learn? But I really like how you emphasize in, I did my Reiki 1 through the Advanced Energy Healing program for estheticians, so it came in that. But what I really like is you emphasize healing yourself first, working on yourself, making sure that because if you're not healed, you're not going to do good for your clients because you're going to be depleted, and it's not going to be the best situation for both you and your client.
Yeah. Oh, Judy wants the name of my book again. And I'll put the link is actually, I think it's in the below. It's Intro to Energy Healing with Reiki Level 1. And it's on Amazon under Linda Bertaut. You see my name up here.
And Lee had a question.
Okay.
What does it mean when a master says you're very open?
Oh, right. That's a good question because it could mean a couple of things. It could mean you're highly sensitive. You're very open to receiving information, to receiving, maybe psychic information. And it could also mean that you've got leaky aura and you need to protect yourself. So I got my pictures here. Healthy aura, leaky aura. And if anybody has taken the aura pictures, see, you can see the difference with the aura picture here, healthy aura, and then leaky aura. But I love the analogy with the Swiss cheese because then people can really see, oh, okay, I get it. And you don't want to have leaky aura because that could be stress, anxiety, depression, all of those things you don't want.
Yeah, Lee says, I thought it was a compliment because she said I was a healer. So,
Yeah, definitely. So if you're highly sensitive, if you're connected to spirit, and in that open sense, definitely this kind of work is good for you. And it's just a matter of you figuring out how do you want to use your healing abilities. And I'm finding so many people now that most of my students are healers who are highly sensitive. They've had some kind of stuff or trauma going on earlier in life. And they want to be able to use their abilities, but they don't have confidence. It's like, I know I have abilities, but I don't know really how to use them. Or I'm afraid to use them. I don't know what to do. So really they need that confidence. And that's what my Heal the Healer program is really about.
It's an amazing program.
Yeah.
Red Dragon said, I need to make sure that my aura is not leaking.
Okay. Do you have stress? Do you have mental chatter, anxiety? Do you ever feel lost? All of those feelings will say that you have leaky aura. But it's easy to heal. It's definitely easy to heal. Oh, Leah, you also say you have a natal chart that is unique. What are some challenges as far as a business and healing? I think the biggest challenge is figuring out what your niche is. Because there are a lot of people that are healers out there, but a lot of people are also not clear how they heal. And I think the biggest thing is to really discover who you are, get that sense of purpose, and be able to heal yourself. And then you connect to source. And with my students in the Heal the Healer program, I really teach you how to heal yourself so that you start to automatically get insights, intuition, and feelings that's going to draw you along your path. But I think the biggest challenge in healing for healing is to not have that clarity about who you are and what you're doing, and then also maybe not being being afraid to charge for what you do. Do you have any other questions about that or any concerns that might help in that? Respect,
Lee
Leah.
says, being such an unconditional field, how do you get started? I'm concerned. I am concerned about know thyself and giving appropriately.
Yeah. The thing I know is that number one, you have to know who you are. Number two, embrace who you are. Number three, share your innate gifts and talents. And when you share your innate gifts and talents, that's how you make the world a better place. That's how you follow your mission, your purpose in life. So, really, the first step is always to heal yourself. And that's how you know thyself. And then you take those steps. You know yourself, you embrace those healing gifts, and then you share them. And let's see, I'm giving it appropriately. What kind of work do you do now, Leah? You'd be a good candidate to talk to me about my Heal the Healer program. I can put the link for that in here.
I was going to say the challenges on the healing business. It's interesting just from my experience from helping you at the trade shows with in Las Vegas, and then like when they used to be here in the Bay Area. People just found us. Like, we didn't really seek anybody out.
No.
They knew we were there, but they found us. Like, when you're available and ready to heal, people will find you.
Or you'll find your teacher.
Yeah, like I found my teacher, you'll find your teacher, and then people will find you. And it's like an energetic balance. Like, we would have so many people just be like, I was hoping you were going to be here this year, and just come up, or I've been trying to get to you for, through the whole show with classes. But it's just if you start healing yourself and get called to do healing work, they will find you. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so that's if anybody's interested in just learning about the program and seeing if you're a right match for that, you can fill out that form.
She made me deal with some traumas that I was not ready to deal with, but I'm so glad I did.
Yeah. So, Leah, I have a crazy many hats I wear. I am a fine artist, tradesperson, chef, baker, custom cake maker. That's fabulous. I love it. Well, see, you're the artiste. You're the one who really is the most connected to your heart chakra. You feel everything. You have to have that creativity, and you have to have your life force is based on you having a creative outlet. And I'm so glad you have so many creative outlets, because that's what keeps you. You say you have crazy many hats, but that's what keeps you sane. As long as you're creating, you're doing good. So you can use that creativity to also offer healing.
So I have a few questions about the actual training. So we talked about the difference between like the time frame and why you choose to teach the time frame that you do. So a lot of people have asked, do online Reiki classes actually work? And how does it work? Are they genuine classes?
Well, you can do attunements at a distance. So a Reiki master teacher can attune you at a distance. So if you sign up for an online class to do Reiki, then you need to make sure you're getting that attunement, because that's what's going to allow you to perform Reiki on yourself and on others. So yes. And then you just have to, find the right person. My online class is pretty extensive, because I teach you how to heal yourself. My intro to energy healing with Reiki level 1 is all about you healing yourself, which is like the beginning. Can't heal anybody but yourself. And then you become the inspiration for others. People see your light, and then they go, oh, I want some of what they have. Even while you're healing yourself, your light starts to shine, and people are like, oh, I want some of that. So,
Absolutely.
yeah, so it's important that if you're going to take a Reiki online class, that they're teaching you how to heal yourself, not just to get your certificate on the wall. And that I think that's an important part.
Yes, absolutely.
And I would
Well,
find out what was your path to Reiki master?
and what's
Did
your
they take
lineage?
one of those 3-day weekend courses, or did they take a period of time to do it? And who are they teaching? Do they have a specific type of audience that they teach? You know,
Yeah. I've been a Reiki master teacher since when was it? 2019? Is that when you think
2020, you got your
2020?
attunement and certificate in, I think it was February of 2020, right
I
before COVID.
I still don't tell people because I'm still learning. I still keep that to myself. I say I'm a Reiki practitioner, but I don't tell people that I'm a Reiki master because I still feel like I'm still on that journey. So I haven't attuned anybody yet because I still feel like I have work to do. So it's just kind of depends on, I don't know, I guess it's a personal thing. Like
Mhm.
I covet my Reiki. Like I don't talk about it to a lot of people because for me, the minute somebody starts, oh man, and starts saying bad things about it, my feelings are gonna get hurt. So
Yeah.
I keep it to myself because I know that it's very personal to me. Even though it's universal energy, I still feel like my practice is my practice, and I am kind of particular on the individuals who I will actually perform treatments on too. I know that's not normal, but I do. I'm pretty picky about who I will do treatments on and who I'll
Mhm.
talk about Reiki with as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and one of the things I tell my students is to make sure that you get the calling, because when I got my calling, it was after 9/11. I had healed myself from depression in the mid 90s. And then 2001, we have, 9/11 happen. And then I saw the whole country in a state of depression. And that's when Spirit spoke to me and said, okay, you know how to heal from depression. Now it's your time to start teaching others how to heal themselves from depression. So it was very clear to me that that was a calling. And so that's when I went and got my Reiki master attunement and training. And I knew that's what I was going to do. And then I was out the door and running. But I had, a natural built in audience because I was already teaching at a cosmetology school. I had students there. I was teaching makeup artistry and, different things. So I was already teaching classes, and that it was just a matter of formulating that class based on what my teacher taught me and then the things that I already knew in teaching a class. So,
Yeah, absolutely. How would
but
you
having
answer the question, is Reiki a religion?
no, it's not. Reiki is healing energy. Now, even Jesus talked about healing, and he did healing with the hands. And he said, you can do as I do. So he said that people could do the hands on healing. Now, he was highly evolved, but I'm sure that was because he also focused on himself and did work on himself as well, had certain practices that were spiritual. So it's not a religion. And what I have found is that Reiki helps to bring you closer to God. So if you do have a certain faith and you want to maintain that faith, Reiki just brings you closer because it's taking away a lot of the interference that you have that keeps you from truly communing with spirit.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Oh, and one of the things we were going to talk about, and I forgot, was about the hands on thing.
Yes, I was just going to segue to that. So there is, before I met you, I was taught that it was hovering. You have to hover. Reiki's hovering over the body.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and you taught us hands on.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay. So Reiki is hands-on healing. You actually touch. If somebody's giving you permission to perform Reiki on them, they're giving you permission to touch them. Now, in my course, my teacher, Barbara, did say, if you're not a massage therapist, you're not licensed to touch. So you can hover if you want to over the client instead of touching them, which would make it legal. Now, as an esthetician, both Sarah and I, we are licensed to touch, and we're licensed to touch the upper body. And when I have done treatments on people, I'm always working on the upper body, but it balances the entire body too. So I think that's where the issue, started. So that if you're not licensed in some way as a massage therapist or esthetician or even a hairdresser, because they can touch too, then you're not supposed to touch the body. But that's not Reiki. Hovering over the body is not the same as getting a hands-on treatment. It makes a huge difference to me. I went to Barbara's for a retreat, one of my retreats, and then she would always have, and she actually had a massage therapist working on me, and she said she was going to do Reiki on me. So I'm laying there on my stomach, and I'm waiting. Okay, when is she going to do Reiki? She was just hovering over my body. And I thought it was so unfulfilling to have Reiki done that way when I was used to having people put their hands on me,
Yeah. Have you had any interesting experiences doing treatments? I was working on one of my former aesthetic students, and I went and I put my hand on her solar plexus, and all of a sudden I went, "Ugh!" Like just this energy shot through me, and I audibly went, "Ugh!" And then I just played it off like nothing happened. And we were just like, oh. So I just finished the treatment, and then afterwards she's like, Miss Sarah, what was that? And I was like, I don't know. Whatever happened, you just knocked the wind out of me somehow. She's like, because I feel great. But I don't know, she was so blocked, but she's a very open, like she's very gifted, spiritually gifted individual. But yeah, only that one time did that ever happen, but I will never forget it because it felt like someone just punched me right in the stomach. It was pretty insane.
I haven't had anything like that, but I was teaching this is before I was a Reiki master. I was teaching one of my students how to do makeup. And this was at my home when I lived in Brisbane, California. And I had a big picture window in the living room. And all of a sudden, this little bird came and flew into the glass. And then it went and fell right back down onto the pavement down below. So we ran outside, and the little bird was there, and I did Reiki on it. So I put my hands around it first, and then the little bird jumped on my palm, and I did Reiki on it this way. And then it was just like shaking its head. It's just going like this and shaking its head. And then all of a sudden, I had my hands open. It was shaking its head, and then it flew away. And we're all like, wow, that was the coolest thing. Felt like, I was able to save that little bird by doing Reiki on it. Yeah. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it is such a wonderful modality.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, very wonderful. I had a
well, I was going to tell this story in the beginning. I completely forgot this. You know how it is. So
yeah.
I was at a trade show in in Long Beach. And this was, years ago, maybe over 15 years ago. And one of my people in the booth, Drea, she was so cute. We were in this booth and we're doing Reiki treatments. And the guy in the next booth was a hair guy, selling hair products. And he was one of those kind of slick salespeople type. So we're doing Reiki in our booth, and he's got his booth, and he's going to people, I'm doing Reiki. And he starts putting his hands on them, and she goes, that's not Reiki, that's Fakey. And so that's where I got that. She goes, "That's not Reiki, that's Fakey."
How fun.
And she called him out. It was so funny. He was fun though. We had, we were having fun back and forth between the booths, but that's where that whole term came up.
So how can we get your class if we're interested in taking any of your online courses? Oh, Red Dragon says, I have a special bird that I rescued in my field. She needs healing.
Aw. Can you take a picture of her and I'll do distance Reiki on her? Yeah. And send it to me. Here, I've got the link for Intro to Energy Healing. Oh, that's the wrong one. Hang on.
Are you interested in doing any distance?
Yeah. Hang on a second. Let me get this here first. Do you guys have any other questions? Excuse me.
Trying to find it from earlier. Oh, yeah, Sutafi. If later, may I please have a Reiki on my throat chakra?
You want to do that? You want to do a distance treatment? Let's see what's going on with your throat chakra.
This is for Sutafi.
Okay. Okay, Sue. So what's going on? I'm getting that you are blocked in your lower chakras, blocked in your body, and then overcharged in your upper chakras.
We'll see if Sue's still around, still with us.
Yeah. A lot of times people that are more sensitive and more intuitive and psychic, they have maybe it's harder to be here on earth, especially right now, because it's just so predatory and just so negative. So people will be blocked in the lower chakras, but then they'll be open or overcharged in the upper chakras because they're much more comfortable communing with spirit than being here on earth. And so the thing that's unique with Reiki is that you can be balanced. You do Reiki on yourself. It helps you to be balanced in every chakra so that you can bring those gifts down to earth. It's really important right now. If you're a healer, if you're somebody who is sensitive, that it's important to bring your gifts down to earth. We need more love and acceptance here on planet Earth. And that's what we're here for. This is really the time that we were all born to be here for. So it's important to heal yourself in the best way that you can so that you can really live your purpose here and spread more love. Yeah, yes, a lot of anger out there. Totally. But you can make a choice. Even though there is, you can be that person who helps to dissipate that. We're here to dissipate the hate. We're here to dissipate anger. We're here to dissipate a lot of, untruths, lies, things that are being said that just aren't true. And then we have to be that example. Oh, so your little bird has eye issues too. Okay. So maybe she's got some of that stuff that's just, they may not be healable. But if you send me a picture of her, I will do a treatment on her.
Does anybody in the audience have any questions about Reiki or treatments or just any general questions for Linda?
Comments? Yes, thank you so much for showing up. I really appreciate you guys showing up. And please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'd appreciate that. I need to get more subscriptions. One day I want to be able to monetize, but I'm a little ways from that. So anything you can do to help would be great.
Akila says a lot of great information. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, check out Linda's page for sure. She's got a lot of fun videos. She has a video. She has a video that she has been she's been dancing and doing recitals, and she did a dance with her father. Was it his 80 his birthday?
92.
And it had like 72,000 views.
76,000.
76,000 now. Like
Can
this
you believe that?
beautiful video with her and her
I'll put
her
that
father dancing. It was so fun. He's a kick. He's a character.
Yeah, definitely. And he's in good shape. Definitely good shape.
He is. That's why I was like 80 maybe, because it's 92. Definitely not.
92.
I would not have guessed that.
Yeah, 76,000 views.
And Red Dragon says, "Thank you, Linda. She's worried me about
What's that?
Her Red Dragon says, "Thank you for doing the treatment on her."
Oh, sure. Okay, there's a video with my dad.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, check out Linda's YouTube channel, her website, chakrapsychic.com. And she has her classes are they're very easy to follow. They're very well thought out. They're very well planned. And just full of a lot of information. So we have, so on Amazon, you can get the Intro to Energy Healing Reiki 1 and also the Reiki 2 distance healing and energy clearing. And I believe, is this one on Amazon as well? The Chakralicious Recipe Cookbook. This one is
a bestseller.
So she just started putting out a series of videos in the kitchen with Linda. Is that?
Mm-hmm.
And the next video that we're working on is her chamomile banana bread. And I have to tell you that I'm addicted to this stuff. I crave it. So my birthday's on Saturday, so I'm hoping that I'm hoping that Sunday I'll have a loaf. Just kidding.
Oh, okay. That's a good hint.
Yeah, it is. It's to die for. I love the chamomile banana bread. It's just delicious. I absolutely love it. Yeah, just a lot of fun information. And yeah, Linda, I just have to say, I'm just so glad that we met, and I just love you so much.
I love you too. And I'm glad you live close by. Relatively close compared to everybody else, you know?
Yes. Thank you, Red Dragon.
Happy
loaf birthday. Hint.
All right, I got the hint. I got to get to work. Well, I'm going to be dancing all day Saturday, so I won't be able to make it that day. It's going to be a couple days old.
That's okay. It's delicious.
It is. All right. Thank you guys so much. If you have any questions, reach out to me, and I'll do my my email address. I'd love to hear from you, and yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Okay. Mwah.
Awesome.
Thank you all so
everybody
much
for joining.
We'll be back again soon. Okay.
Thank
Bye.
you.